since I reviewed my first Dievas on this channel, many of you guys have been asking me to get another one, and I've got one here. This is the brand new Dievas Maya MkIII. And for those who don't know, Dievas is a German brand. It was established in 2006, and the watches that they produce are very tactical, very robust. They're very solid, well-built tool watches. And what I've got in my hand here is a 41mm, and it features 1000 meters of water resistance, as well as a DLC coating on the case, bracelet, caseback, and crown. And even the super luminova on this glows like a torch. So there's a lot of bang for your buck. It's not a perfect watch, far be it, but this thing here is fully loaded. As a tool, as a solid, reliable workhorse, especially with that Swiss Solida SW200, I think there's a lot of watch going on here. Now you saw the pop-up, Gnomon Watches has sponsored this video. They've sent out this watch, we don't have to send it back. However, any manufacturer that sends a watch onto this channel, they have zero input into the review content. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of this watch, good, bad and indifferent. And first and foremost, if we get onto the specs, I measure a case diameter of exactly 41.2mm. The case height comes in at 14.1mm. We have a lug-to-lug of 49.4 and a lug width of 20mm. Now the crown is a 6.8mm signed screw-down crown. It has exceptional knurling and is so easy to use. And as I said, the watch offers 1000 meters of water resistance. And the total weight on this bracelet sized to my 18cm wrist comes in at exactly 184 grams. Now sitting on my 18cm wrist, as you can see, the watch is fine. 41mm, I measure a 49mm lug-to-lug. However, that case, the center links of that bracelet, they extend that lug-to-lug from 49.4 to around 51mm, so just bear that in mind. The height, I measure, comes in at 14.1mm. It is a little bit of slab-sided, so it might look a little bit chunky on the wrist, but it is a very well-built watch. Also, the comfort on that bracelet, especially with that on-the-fly adjustment, has been fantastic. And speaking of that bracelet, as you can see, it's a H-link, very good articulation. The end links are solid. The center links actually extend that lug-to-lug slightly to 51mm, so bear that in mind. The watch does offer screw pins, milled swivel, as well as a on-the-fly adjustment. We pull that out, as you can see, plus 3 micro adjustments for fine tuning. And I must say, I like the fact that the watch has got DLC coating on the case, on the bracelet, on the crown, and on that case back. And as you can see, it's a solid case back, no nonsense, tool specific. The case back's not designed to look good, but to be a functional tool. And behind that case back, we have a Solida SW200, Swiss automatic, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, around 38 hours power reserve, a tried and tested movement, so there shouldn't be any problems in that department. Now moving on to the bezel of the watch, if we look to the side, you can see that there's screws. They're actually Allen key screws. There's 4 of them, and they basically hold the bezel in place. So you can interchange bezels from different watches from Dievas by basically unscrewing that, ordering a different bezel, putting it on, away you go. And the bezel itself is a 120 click unidirectional. It's got a ceramic insert, loomed as well. Let's have a listen to the action. A very easy experience. There's no backplate that I can feel, and it lines up perfect. Now you notice the height of that bezel is quite good, so you could easily grab that with gloves, albeit it is a little bit smooth. The knurling would have been nice. In fact, the knurling on that crown is phenomenal. I love the knurling on this crown. We'll unscrew it. It's at the 4 o'clock, as you can see, a healthy pop. 2 clicks, we've hacked the movement, and we can adjust the time. So I really like what they've done with this crown. They've placed it at the 4. They've basically used, if you look at the case itself is asymmetrical. On this side, it's a little bit thicker, so they've used that as a crown guard. So when you screw the actual crown down, latches on, the knurling is really easy to grab. So I'd expect that to be easy with a glove as well. Now you've probably also noticed there's a date complication between the 4 and the 5. Not a very big window opening, but it's legible. The thing that I like about it, the actual font is not on an angle, it's actually vertical. So it's been adjusted on that Solida so that you can see it in a vertical fashion. That's quite nice. That's a nice little detail that I didn't expect. If I turn my attention to the crystal of the watch, it's a flat sapphire. It's got anti-reflective coating. As you can see, there's a slight blue hue on the crystal. It's doing a very good job, albeit I'm not a big fan of blue AR. I would have preferred clear on this, but it is doing a very good job. I've not had washout. The legibility has been good in any lighting scenario. Lastly, if we move over to the Lume, the watch features Swiss Superluminova BGW9. Very well applied, very bright, very clean. I like the Lume. Even the first 15 minutes of the bezel has increments that are lumed. My only qualm, they only last a very short period of time. The rest of the Lume, not an issue. It goes on and on and on. And having a big handset, a good layout, 3, 6 and 9 with the triangle at the top, everything's oversized. Everything's turned up to 11 on this watch. That's how I can describe it the best. It's designed for legibility, it's designed to be a tool, and I think in that department it's doing a great job. Looking at the crown side of the case, you've probably already noticed there's a helium escape valve. So the watch is designed for 1,000 meters of water resistance. It can handle saturation diving. The DLC coating is really strong. I think over-engineered and overbuilt to be able to handle quite a bit of abuse. Now, what are the positives and negatives of this watch? And speaking of the negatives first, for me, the weight. Coming in at 184 grams, that's a little bit beyond my comfort zone. You're definitely going to feel this on the wrist, but nothing stopping you from swapping it out from a bracelet, putting some rubber straps on this. In fact, I have a couple of variants. This bracelet version comes in at $1,815. They also have the rubber strap version at $1,595. I'm quoting Australian dollars here, so I expect that weight to come right down just by changing out that bracelet. Second negative, I'd probably have to say that bezel is a little bit on the smooth side. For a specific tool, the knurling on the bezel could have been a little bit more pronounced. At the moment, it's a little bit smooth. If I look at the knurling on that crown, that is phenomenal. That is fantastic to grip. Just a little bit rougher on this actual bezel would have benefited. But even so, the height of that bezel is quite substantial, so it does offer enough real estate. Third negative, the AR coating, not a big fan of. It's doing a good job, I just don't like blue, and that's a personal choice. And probably the last negative of the watch, some people might find this a little bit on the pricier side at 1,800 Australian dollars, $1,595 for the rubber strap version. But in saying that, it's a lot of watch. You got a Swiss movement, 1,000 meters of water resistant, hardened case, on the fly adjustment. You're really not going to be scratching this watch up in any hurry. Now moving over to the positives of this watch, first and foremost, legibility. That legibility on this watch is fantastic. The Lume, excellent. The crown knurling, again, fantastic. It's good that it's got a Sellita SW200. You got 1,000 meters of water resistance, helium escape valve, the DLC coating, the quality build. I like the fact that the bezel is interchangeable. So there's a lot of stuff going on here that are quite good. It's designed to be a tactical, robust tool, very solid. But with all those benefits, you also get some drawbacks from weight, as well as potential physical size. You guys want to see another Dievas? Well, this is a brand new Maya MkIII, smaller than its counterpart, coming in at 41 as compared to 44, which I think they've done really well. So if you're looking for a specific tool that's going to be solid and robust, definitely a watch to consider. Hit me up in the comments, let me know your thoughts about this watch or even this brand. I think being German, they make a solid piece, and the proof is in the pudding. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.